got my coach, Coach Mckee. Coach, man, like I said earlier, Coach, seems like you're a little more rejuvenated this year. You come in, you got a little bounce to your step, a little more smiling than usual. Coach, this is going to be a big year for the Cardinals.
Well, I hope so. I mean, I hope every year is a big year. You know, I probably made a mistake when I first started coaching because you would think, well, now when Buford and Truck and McKee and these guys are seniors, we're going to have a great team. Well, you know, there's a group of seniors every year. And so I think it's really important as a coaching staff and as a school leadership team that we put our all into this team. It's about this year's team every year. And so, you know, one of the most important things is my commitment as a head coach and our commitment as a staff to the following groups of people. Above all else, our players. Commitment to our players that we're going to give them everything we have. You know, and then my commitment to our assistant coaches that I'm going to give them the necessary tools that they need to be successful. To the parents of our players, you know, I have a commitment to that. You know, you guys have children. If you had a son on our team this year, you want our best. And then to our community and our fan base and our school, they deserve a good team. They support football in Scott County.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, big time. Yes, sir. Now, Coach, man, we talked a little bit earlier when I first came in. I might be far off on this. You tell me if I am, but me talking to Coach Truck, I'm like, man, this is probably your best coaching I've seen you do. I think people thought, okay, Scott County's down, they out for the count. And Coach Truck picked against you week after week, but that's a whole other story, you know. But then you be Catholic, you be, like I said, a good ballot team. You went and beat Highlands.
Highlands on the road,
second round. I mean, you had a heck of a schedule to beat a lot of great teams last year.
Well, you know, football, all sports, you know, all sports, the bounce of the ball determines a lot. You know, Brown Station beat us in 2021 up there. You know, we had a 4th and 3. We almost had cut right sack. He did a great job, got out. They ended up winning. You know, last year we beat them 21-20. You know, the ball just bounced our way a little bit. But, you know, I didn't do a great job. You know, we did a great job. You know, we had one of our best defenses last year. And, you know, the guys on the defensive side of the ball, you know, Monty McIntyre, I mean, if I were a principal or an athletic director and I wanted to hire a coach, I'd call him. Yeah. And, you know, Chris Travis played for us, coaches our D-line, is just a tremendous coach, tremendous person. And then Scott Willard coached our linebackers last year, who's also our head baseball coach. So, you know, our kids gave a great effort last year. We had some tremendous leadership from guys like Nate Hall and guys like Daniel Daff, Elijah Adams. You know, our senior group was good. And, you know, our coaches did a good job. They got some good bounces. But, yeah, we had a great year. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that.
Yes, sir.
Now, Coach, I mean, just coming out of it, when Greg Carlson came online, I mean, some people probably thought that it was the nail in the coffin for the Scott County tradition.
That was wishful thinking.
Apparently so, Coach, because we bounced back, Coach. And it was like right after that, we started a freshman quarterback. First time I think you had started a freshman quarterback since you had been there. And, you know, had a few losses early on in the season. Like, oh, this isn't Scott County. And then now we're coming in ranked, probably some people would say the second best team in 5A. Now, I know, my coach, we don't get excited about all that preseason
stuff. But man, it's better to be ranked high than low, though. Yeah, that's true. I don't want to be ranked 28. I'd rather be ranked 3rd or 1st.
Now, how did you deal with that? Like, how did you come out of that like you did, Coach? Some other coaches, that would have hurt.
Well, I mean, you know, first off, football is important in our community. And, you know, you would be remiss if I didn't mention guys like Adam Crace. He runs our youth league. Like the guys, you know, at Georgetown Middle over the years, you know, all the way back to who's now the mayor. You know, Bernie Jenkins was coach at Georgetown Middle School for years. And, you know, the guys have done a really good job at Scott Middle. Jeff Watts was there a long time. Brian Hickey's there now. John Martin's been at Royal Spring for an extended period of time. Actually, our personnel director for the district, Brent Allen, he was a football coach at Royal Spring. So football is important. And I knew when Great Crossing High School opened that there would be an adjustment period. And there has. And we've had to adjust some of the things that we've done. And, you know, for a long, long time, we really basically never looked at a sophomore that he would get on the field.
Yeah.
You know, we would have 140-ish players, 9 through 12, and 50 to 60 freshmen. And, you know, every once in a while, Glenn Covington or Brian Hudson would come along. But for the most part, you're looking at a senior-laden team almost year after year. Our numbers are a little different now. We have to get some young guys ready a little faster than we once did. And, you know, we've adjusted our scheduling a little bit. I mean, our schedule's still challenging, but we're not going to go to Moeller. We're not going to go to Elder. You know, so I feel like we've adjusted. And and they're very good. And we would be remiss, and you guys probably are going to talk about this without mentioning, you know, the passing of Alvis Johnson and what he meant to football and track and just to athletics. You know, there's some people that, y'all knew him, but there's some people you meet and you're like, I mean, they just have an air about them. And, you know, you would meet him and talk with him, and you always left a conversation with Alvis Johnson feeling better than when you went into it. But, you know, so we've made some adjustments, and I really like where we are right now as a program. And, heck, guys, you know, they're going to, a year from now, we're going to move into probably the best football facilities in the state of Kentucky and a brand new high school. So hopefully we're going to continue to be built to last.
Yes. And then, Coach, you spoke to speak about this young team. As you said earlier, only 12 seniors.
Some really good seniors, though.
Yeah.
Some really good seniors.
But probably the first time you've been had at least amount of seniors.
Probably, yes.
32 juniors, 27 sophomores, including your starting quarterback and Andrew Hickey, who had a great year, threw the ball 108 times, got to be a record for a Scott County quarterback.
No, Josh Davis. Josh Davis was probably our best quarterback we ever had. I should have brought those stats, but I'm sure he would have thrown up upwards of 150.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, so I know Hickey got the coach.
Hickey is a good quarterback.
Yes,
So he absolutely is.
So how's it been depending on so many young guys?
Well, I mean, I think that, you know, I try to talk with our seniors every year, whether we've got 25 or 12, and let them know and understand that, you know, our team is going to go as far as they're going to take them. And we have some outstanding seniors. You know, I think Jasonte Harmon, you know, you can say this guy's the best or that guy's the best. You know, there's really no way to know in rankings. On the field, you're going to play it out. Eventually, there's going to be a 5A state champion. You're going to say, okay, this team's the best in 5A this year. But, you know, Jasonte has to be one of the best players in Kentucky. You know, he's extremely strong physically. He's just a really, really good football player from a football family. And, you know, Paul Garner, we have our entire backfield back from last year. You know, Andrew Hickey's our quarterback. Jacob Fryman, Ellis Hughley, Thomas Fikert are all seniors. So we have a good group of leadership there. We've got a back that only was able to play a couple games last year because of injury, Ali Hamdiya, and he's very talented. So we are young, and really juniors aren't young. You know, we got 32 juniors. They had a great freshman class 2 years ago. Christian Rodriguez is our best offensive lineman. He's in that group. He looks really good this summer. So, you know, we got 32 juniors, but we've got 12 seniors. Paul Garner has been starting for us for a long time. His older brother played for us. So we have the senior leadership, hopefully, that we need to have the best team we can have.
Now, to follow up on this real quick, man, Coach, I know you're old school. You don't care who's there. You're going to coach whoever shows up. Has the game changed with this whole, how do you keep everybody happy? And how does the game change when you got these kids ready to jump to one school and jump to that school? Because the transfer portal, it's really like college now, you know, a kid get mad at you Monday, he may be a great crossing Tuesday, you know. So how have you had to adjust to that? Are you still like, I'm going to do my thing, then you hear?
I think you have to adjust. I think that, you know, if you guys look at your show and what is this, year 4 or 5, right? I mean, you know, if you were doing everything exactly the same as you were doing it year 1, year 5, it probably, you know, you've got to look to continue to grow your show. And so we have to look to continue to grow as coaches. I think that at the end of every season, there is a bit of re-recruiting your own roster, which is something that you didn't think about probably 8 or 10 years ago. So you need to do that. And you're right. I mean, NIL is, I saw a picture of a kid, actually it was a big basketball kid from Western Hills. That he had, that was the first NIL deal that I had seen. I mean, but it's not really my call. We don't have a one-time free transfer right now, but there is a lot of talk of a one-time free transfer at some point in time. So I think you do adjust a little bit. But at the end of the day, what you have to fight for every day is your culture. That is what determines your program. What kind of culture do you have, and can you sell the vision to the guy who's playing on the defensive line, and he's going to get trapped, and he's got to step in and wrong arm the trap so that the linebacker can make the tackle. And you got to find a way for that young man to get the same amount of joy from his technique as the guy who you're going to call the guy's name. Oh, Buford on the big tackle for loss. Well, really, Buford would have never been able to do it if it wasn't for McKee wrong arming the trap or whoever. So that's a little bit different. But you do have to understand, and I know you guys agree with this. It's a player-driven sport.
It is, yeah.
The better the players are. You look at, you guys follow the city closer than anybody, any part of the state. And gosh, I can remember the first time we beat Dunbar. I thought we won the Super Bowl. And then, I can remember playing those great Lafayette teams. And Joe Ruttle, Roy Walton, the Tates Creek teams. Bryan Station's good right now, but, they went through a period of time. Henry Clay, gosh, we used to have knockdown dragouts with Henry Clay. And so, it's a player-driven. I think we all want to look for the secret recipe. This is how you do it. Well, you do it with A, really good players. B, you have to have good assistant coaches. You do. I got to have guys like Monty, and I've got to have, got my oldest son Clay coaching for us this year, and got to have guys like that, Mike Davis and Chris Travis, Aaron Hall, Jalen Menifee. I could go on. And then we're so blessed. Elizabeth Gaypart is our principal right now. I don't know if you guys know her, and she's not going to watch Big Things Kentucky, but she's a great principal. And so you got to have leadership from your school, and Mr. Wells is our district athletic director. Coach Helton is our building athletic director. Those people are visionary leaders for what football and athletics can do for a community. So to answer your question, yes, we've had to change some, but it helps when you're in a football-driven environment.
Say no more, yes, sir.
All right, Coach. So this upcoming schedule, you kick it off with the scrimmage against Bowling Green, which could be a preview for a 5A state championship game. Then your annual Louisville Central, I love that Louisville Central scrimmage. You got scrimmage them every year.
Probably 15 years, Truck, I would say. I got to be friends with Coach Ty Scroggins, and it just evolved from there. And we're going there this year, and it's gone on so long. We'll always have pizza for the kids afterwards, but the parents that run their concession stand, they'll always bring me and Coach McIntyre and Coach Woodard, they always bring us a big thing of fish. So I don't know how the scrimmage is going to go, but I'm going to destroy the fish. I'm going to destroy the fish.
You might have to go to that scrimmage. You get some of that fish. Then you have Madison Southern, the Great Crossings, Battle of the Birds game, Lincoln County, Boyle County, Madison Central. Then you get your district, Collins, Anderson County, South Odom, Woodford County. Like we said earlier, it's just.
Did you say you wasn't playing that many tough teams? It sounds like you ain't changed. You was changing the model for Boyle County. I mean, you went from apples to big apples. Coach,
I think it's when you schedule. I take a lot of input in every decision that we make in the program. I probably take the least amount of input on creating a schedule. I talk to Monty sometimes and Willard a little bit, but for the most part, making the schedule it's really kind of an art. And I never try to judge somebody else's schedule, and I never try to say or pay any attention to what anybody says about our schedule. I think as a head coach, you've got to try to put the best schedule together that you think for your program in that particular year. If you have not been winning and you need momentum, then you need to try to get teams on your schedule that you can win. Really, one of the important things we try to do, though, is try to put at least one team on there that when you get to your last game, if it's the first round of the playoffs or the state championship, whoever you're playing is not the best team you've seen all year.
Yes.
So, you know, you can look back and you can say, man, Coach Truck's team's really good, but they're not quite as good as Coach Buford's team was week 4. So we've seen somebody that's good, guys. So that's what the speed of the game is going to be. But we've got a challenging schedule, and we're light on home games. You know, we only have 4 home games, and that's done for a reason. I mean, you know, we're not belly aching about this, but the facts are, you know, we've never had a home stadium since I've been there. You know, we played at Georgetown College, and then we share the Bird's Nest, which we're appreciative of both situations. But you know, in the fall of 24, we're going to open up the Scott County Stadium.
Can't wait. Yes,
And
sir.
so we are going to go light on home games this year and a lot on the road, so that in the opening year of the stadium,
Yes, sir, yeah.
we actually will have a chance to play 7 of our 10 games at home in that stadium. And you know, it even goes down to little things like your parents. You know, we're shuffling drinks around a lot because, you know, the concession stand is not yours full time all the time. So, you know, that's something we don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, but that's kind of why we have 4 home games this year, so that we can have a bunch next year when we open the stadium.
So will it be Jim Mckee Stadium?
Well, it should
Jim
be.
Mckee Field or something.
Something.
No.
I mean, come on, Coach, you're the most successful coach come through here. All you've done for not only that program, the community. I mean, the kids have been through here.
Coach ain't gonna
Coach,
take
come
no
on.
credit right
Yeah,
now.
I know. Anytime you humble there, Coach.
I mean, I think
You
when
got
you
it.
look at that, I mean, I like to look at it as what the community's done for my family. And, you know, I've got 3 sons that all went to Scott County schools, K through 12, and, you know, they had a bunch of great teachers and a bunch of good coaches, and, you know, now they're all young adults. And so we try to look at it more like that than what anything we, being our coaching staff and players, have done. But it's really what the community's done for us.
Okay. Man, I think I heard it. We got a lack of Lexington schools this year. How's that feel? I know you always
It feels
got
a little
that
different.
You know, you always played all of them. You know, now you don't have any. I mean, so.
It feels a
Oh, Catholic.
We have Catholic on there. But I mean, yeah, it feels a little bit different. We're not playing any of the Lexington Public Schools this year. But I mean, I like our schedule, and I'm sure that there are going to be Lexington Public Schools that are going to reappear on our schedule at some point in time down the road. And, you know, I mean, when you get to be the age that I am, and you've coached a number of years that I've coached, I mean, inevitably you're going to run into somebody who'll say, well, I mean, how much longer, Coach? And I mean, I don't even think that way. I mean, a long time. I mean, if I'm blessed and I continue to have good health and good energy, I love being around the kids. I love the game of football. You know, I mean, I love it when it's hot right now in the summer, and I equally love it when it's cold in the playoffs. And, you know, I don't like losing, but I love the challenge of trying to figure out how are we going to get back up off the mat after we've been knocked down and get ready to go in 7 days again. And if we're winning, how are we going to keep, you know, this show's good, social media, people say, well, it's the world we live in. So kids are going to read it. So kids are going to look and see, well, hey, man, they got us ranked 1.
Yeah, that's it.
Coach Beaver's got us ranked 1. And so I love the challenge of figuring out how to keep them grounded.
Yeah.
How are they not? No, they're not that good. We've still got things we got to improve on. So I just love all the things that are a part of the game.
Yeah, because the preseason ranking now got you number 2, I think, in 5 days.
That's what I don't know where Truck saw that.
Hey, let's go. I'm gonna tell you, Nate Bryant put that.
I keep track of myself.
Nate
you know
Bryant put
that.
that.
I gotta keep track of where we at, Coach.
Coach, I'm telling you right now, I apologize that he tried to put that Scott County shirt on. He don't love you like that, Coach. You know his loyalty lies here, Coach. You know where the lies here.
Well, unless one of his schools that he's loyal to takes a little downturn, then he'll flip.
Oh, he's ready to go. He stands on the edge everywhere he's at.
But that's not going to happen with us. Because, Coach, I mean, it's first of all, just amazing what you've done.
Yeah.
Like we said, you put in a lot of time, and you have literally built this from the ground up.
Well, to some degree, but I
you're
think
coaching
that
kids.
we are.
And you're still young, though.
And we are coaching lots of brothers, younger brothers, older brothers. But, you know, I look at situations where people go and start a football program from scratch. That's, you know, maybe tougher from a, there was a lot of good tradition in Scott County is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, things had been dry for a period of time before we got there, but there was still tradition to draw upon, and we are proud of that. We haven't had a losing season since 2000. That was the last losing season that we've had.
Going on 23 years.
So, I think the longevity of what we've done is probably the thing that all of us are the most proud of. Not every one of those teams have been state championship contenders, but you can look back at all those 22 teams and find at least a couple Friday nights on there where man, we played great that night against Bryan Station. Or gosh, remember when we kicked that field goal and beat Dunbar? And each one of those teams over that long period of time. And you talk about goal setting, and I'm guilty of this too, but you guys have already fast forwarded to December. And, we haven't even put our shoulder pads on yet. But, we try to set the same goal every year, and that is that when November gets here, are we playing our best football? Yeah. Are we as healthy as we can be? So have we kept them up? And, you're going to have some injuries, but it's just going to happen throughout the course of but, have we avoided practice-induced injuries? Are we playing our best football? Can we give our kids our best chance to advance in November? And in the preseason, one of our biggest, if not number one goal is, do we have every kid at Scott County High School out for football that can help us win? And now, that doesn't count the kid who maybe has grade problems, or that doesn't count the kid who, gosh, we tried like crazy to get Truck's attitude straight, and he's just not going to listen. He's got a terrible attitude. But, the kid's got a pretty good attitude, and he has a football background. Do we have him out? And, right now, we've got every kid out at Scott County High School that we think can help us win 10 through 12, with the exception of one kid. And we'll stay after him and see if we can, throw the bait out there and catch him and get him in the mix. So I think that's kind of our preseason mindset, and then our mindset at the end of the regular season, and then going into the playoffs. Last year we lost to a really good Southwestern team, 23-22, I think, and just a bounce of the ball. And so even though I was sad and gosh, I thought, man, we got to keep going. Once you can remove yourself from that and look back on the season, we had a great year.
I think about it, I love, like I said before we go, your energy is great. I remember seeing you at the state championship game one year. You was on the phone working on stuff in December. So you talk about December. You stay all year round with working on your kids and working on the stuff for your kids, and it's guaranteed the success. So hats off to you. I love your energy, and like I said, man, you definitely one of those Mount Rushmore here for the state of Kentucky. Sure.
Well, I appreciate the compliment, but I think that carries over into whatever you're going to do in life. One of the great blessings that I have is I was able to follow my passion. And, if you can work, and I really don't feel like I'm working, but if your profession is in a field that you're passionate about, that is such a blessing. And you're right, we've been fortunate enough to play in 4 state championship games since I've been there. And every one of those, I can think that on the bus ride home, I scratched out a little bit about, here's who's coming back, and we'll need a right guard, and we'll need a left defensive end, and so I want to continue that success. And when the day comes that it's time for me to retire, hopefully the program is in great shape for whoever takes over, and hopefully whoever would take over would take the program to heights higher than we've ever had it. Because that's what we want for the community of Georgetown. And we still believe in the kid growing up and coming to the Scott County game and running around on the sidelines and wanting to be a Cardinal. And so that has really sustained what we've done over a long period of time. I've told them a million times, when you put on a sweatshirt, you go to the mall, why don't you be proud of that? I'm proud of this. Check yourself.
I like it.
These are new brand. We got the Jordan. We got the Box 40 with the little adjustable. These are things I'm proud of.
I might place an order for one of them coats.
We'll see how you do. We'll see what kind of picture you make first.
Yes, sir. That's exactly right. That's right, Coach. Hold them at bay.
Well, Coach Bill, you got anything else for Coach, man?
Coach Mckee, it's always a pleasure, man. I said that with you. Not only you a great coach. You're the historian of the game. So, hey, man, it's great to have you on every time. We can talk to you for hours. We could.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.